Hey guys, Pogo here, and welcome to the next episode of the Packets miniseries. In this episode, we're going to learn how to access net.minecraft.server classes correctly. This is the title code from the title packet video. I would recommend watching it before you watch this video, just so that you can understand what all of this code does. If we take a look in the imports, we'll see that there are 4 imports that contain this piece right here, v1 underscore 8 underscore r3. One of them is for a craft bucket import, and 3 of them are for net.minecraft.server imports. The issue with this is that bucket and net.minecraft.server, this will change with every new version. So if a new version comes out, let's say R4 or 1.9 or anything, or if a user is using, let's say, R2 or R1, then it won't work because it's looking for this exact class and it won't be able to find it. The way that we get around this is by using reflection, and it is a lot uglier than this. This looks really nice and clean here. The way that we're going to have to do it is going to look pretty ugly, but it will ensure compatibility with all of the different versions. So we're actually going to be able to, the first thing we need to do is determine how to extract this 1 underscore 8 underscore r3. We need to extract that, and then we can use that to get all of the net.minecraft.server classes that we need. So I'm going to copy this class just because I want to keep the other one intact, and we'll call this title reflection because we're going to use reflection in it. And great. So we want to be able to get rid of all of these imports and replace them instead with reflection, and we'll take a look at that. So the first thing that we're going to do is get rid of the craft player, and there's actually an easy way to do that. It's not that bad, and I'm just going to delete the subtitle just so that we can keep this code nice and neat. But instead of craft player, we're going to do our first bit of reflection. So I would recommend watching my advanced Java tutorial episode on reflection, because you'll need to understand how reflection works in order to watch this video. Otherwise, it is going to be confusing. So let's go ahead and I guess we'll write these inside of methods just to keep it nice and organized and separated, because it's going to be a lot of similar looking but ugly looking code. So we'll write a method called sendPacket. It will take a player and not a packet. I'll show you why. So that is the signature of the method. But if I import it, then you'll see it's importing net.minecraft.18r3.packet, and we don't want that to happen. We want it to use reflection, so this is actually going to be an object. So we're not going to be specific in what the packet is, we're just going to call it an object, and that's going to be good enough for us. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to essentially take this and write a reflection version of it that does not require us to access all of the classes directly. So we're going to say class, and then in diamond brackets write a question mark, and we're going to call this handle equals player.getClass. There we go. .getClass.getMethod. The name of the method is getHandle, and the parameters, there are no parameters, so leave that blank. Dot invoke, and the object is going to be the player because we're invoking getHandle on the player, and again, no arguments, so we're not going to put any arguments. And you'll see that this is going to give us, it's going to tell us, oh, I guess that this should be, oh, we can actually cast, no, I'm sorry, this should be an object, not a class. That was my fault. And it's going to tell us that we need to surround it with a try and catch, because all of these different wonderful things could happen. we're just going to collapse it and call it exception, and we'll just do that for now. You can add whatever error handling you want later. So now we have the handle. We need to get the player connection. So object player connection equals handle.get class. Now that we have the handle, we want to do this with the handle dot get field. We're going to get the field. What is the field? Player connection. Actually, yeah, I think that's right. And then what we actually have to do is say player connection dot set. Sorry, player. Oh, that's right, because this is a field, so this should be field player connection field. Because now what we need to do, import java.lang.reflect.field. Now we're getting this field, which is the player connection. That's not a method, it's an object. Because now we need to actually first do set accessible true. Or actually, I guess we don't need to do that because it's public. Never mind. So we don't actually need that. We can just do that. That should say object. And then, so we want to get the field and then call get. And the object is, again, handle, because we're invoking this on the handle. So now we're at this point. Now we want to actually call the packet, the send packet method. So now we're going to say player connection dot get class dot get method. The method is, of course, called send packet. And the parameter types, this is going to be packet base class. And we're going to make it null for now, or I guess we'll just leave it empty. But we need to get the packet base class, the net.minecraft.server.18r3.packet, that class. We need to get it. And then we're going to invoke it. The object is the player connection, and the argument is the packet. And that is the code for that. But we need to be able to get this class. We're going to write another method that will give us a class if we give it a name. So if I give it the name packet, it'll give me the net.minecraft.server class for the packet. If I say, you know, packet playout title or iChat base component .chat serializer or whatever, it'll give me that. And before we do that, you'll notice I can now delete that craft player import and just delete that and replace. So I want to call send packet with e.getPlayer and title. So you'll notice that I can now simplify that part pretty well. So this is going to be public class question mark and diamond brackets get nms class string name. So given the name of a class like packet, it should return the NMS name. Now the first thing we need to do is determine this number right here, this v1_8_r3. Here's how we're going to do that. We're going to say string version equals bucket.getServer, .getPackage.getName. .get name. What that is going to do is give the name of the package, which will be org.bucket.bucket or org.bucket.server. So bucket.getServer right there. And from that, we can actually extract the name. That will look something like back when we had that craft player. Let me get that import back. Let's get that. It's going to look like this, org.bucket.craftbucket.whatever. That's what that package name is going to look like. So let me just stick that down there. So it's going to look like this. Something like that. Point is, we need to get this 1_8_r3. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this at the \\dot. And then we're going to write a 3. This, first of all, split uses a regular expression. Feel free to watch my video on regular expressions if you want. but we just need to escape this dot so that it doesn't act like the dot which matches any character. And then the 3 means we need to go to the third index. So that's index 0, that's index 1, that's index 2, and that's index 3. So version should now contain v1 underscore 8 underscore r3. And we're going to put a print, we're going to have it, print out the version just so that we can test it when we're ready. So now we are going to return, we're going to do class.forName, and we're going to type in the class name, which is simply going to be net.minecraft.server.version.name, whatever the name of the class is. So if I typed in packet playout title, it would be net.minecraft.server. Whatever the version is, packet playout title. And of course, this is going to give us some error because it might not have the class. Let's just stick that like that and return null. That shouldn't be an issue. The only time that this would be an issue would be if there's a typo, most likely, or if the name of the class changes. So perhaps you would want to put some kind of error handling there. What we can do right here, we can say get nms class packet, and now it's going to get the packet, the class for the packet, that net.minecraft.server whatever version it is packet. So now our send packet will work, and our get nms class method is ready. So we need to deal with this packet playout title. So the first thing that we're going to do, take a look and you'll notice that packet playout title has an empty constructor. It has one that takes the action and a chat, one that takes 3 values, and then one that takes everything. So you have a lot of different choices here. And what we'll do is we'll use this constructor that takes everything in it. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to say, not class, this is going to be constructor, title constructor, equals title, or not title, I'm sorry. We're going to do get nms class, and this is going to be packet play out title. Again, that's the name of the class, .get constructor. And now we need to put in the parameter types. So the first one is going to be get nms class, and it's going to be, you'll see right here, the enum title action is packet playout title.enum title action. The next one is going to be that chat serializer. So again, get nms class that. And then the last 3 are integers, so you can use int.class, and that should work. So that's the first step, is we need to first import java.lang.constructor, and we need to surround with try and catch because everything could go wrong. Alright, great. So yeah, the first thing is we need to create the constructor, and you can put a question mark in diamond brackets there. And now that we have an instance of the constructor, or access to the constructor, we can use it. So we can say object packet equals title constructor dot new instance, and now we need to give it the arguments. So let's pause for a second and get these 2 values, because we're going to need those first. So the first thing we'll do is we're going to say object enum title will be equal to get nms class packet playout title dot enum title action dot get field title dot get null. We're first going to the enum title action class, then we're getting the title field, and we can say null because title is static. It's a static field, so we don't need to have an instance of enum title action in order to get access to it. So that's the this is that part. Now we need to do the chat serializer. So we're going to say object chat, or whatever you want to call it, So of course we need to get the NMS class for iChat base component.chat serializer, and then we are going to do, we need to get the method. The method is going to be called A, and the parameter is going to be string.class. It takes one string. And we're going to invoke it with null because it's static. We don't need an instance of chat serializer to use it. And the argument is going to be this, the text that says welcome. Now when we create a new instance, we pass enum title first, then chat, then 20, then 40, then 20. And finally we would call send packet right there, and it would be packet, just like that. We can now delete the packet playout title, and you'll see that all of those imports are gone. We now only have normal Bukkit imports. We don't have to worry about any Java or net.minecraft.server imports. And you could clean this up. You could have different things on one line. You could condense this whole thing to one line, but it would be really, really long. Stuff like that. This could become one line, but again, it would be really long. It's already pretty long. But as you can see, we now don't have those imports anymore, and theoretically, as long as the names of the classes don't change, this should work on any version of Bukkit. And if the class names do change, then you would have to update your code to reflect that. And of course, you can use this version string right here to figure out what version they're running. So you can say if they're running a variant of 1.8, perhaps that's different than a variant of 1.7, and so on and so forth. Let's test this out. We're going to set up the plugin.yml. We're going to call this title, and the class is going to be title reflection. And okay, let's export this. We're going to, of course that doesn't belong in there, that should go in the YouTube folder, Minecraft server plugins and packets. There we go. So, great. Now we're going to head over to terminal. Let's just grab the server. I should have my start command right there. Okay, so the server is going to start up. Let's grab Minecraft also. Forgot about that. Oops. Gotta open up Minecraft in my special way. Okay, that'll do it. Alright, the server has started up in 3 seconds and no errors on startup, which is great. Not terribly surprising, but okay, here we go. Server, or the client is starting. Let's connect to the server and wait for it. I'm sorry, it doesn't do it on login, it does it on chat. I believe you say the word title and then it should display the title. So let's see if this is actually going to work on the first try. No. Nope. Close, but not quite. Let's see what the issue is. When you're working with reflection, you're going to have a lot of issues like this. So just keep that in mind. So you can see, first of all, that it got the version correct. It says v1_8_r3. And that is the exact correct version. So we can see that this version string is correct. Now the issue is it's saying net.minecraft.server.v1_8_r3.packetPlayoutTitle.enumTitleAction is not found. Let's see if that's actually correct. Now see, it's telling me that it actually is, and I would have to guess that I'm accessing it wrong, since it is in a separate class. So let's just make sure. Line 24. Why does it say line 24? That's weird. Oh, that's right, because I added 2 more lines. So it said it was happening on line 24, which is right there. Okay. What we actually have to do is we get the packet playout title, and then we need to do the get declared class, sorry, get declared classes. That returns that, and then we'll just say at index 0. So that's going to give us all of the classes that are declared inside of packet playout title. And you'll notice there is the enum title action class that is declared in there. And by calling index 0, that should give us the correct class. Now, if this works, it should probably give us an error with the iChat base component, but that's obviously an easy fix. So let's see if that actually helped. Okay. Null pointer exception on line 25. And let's go up to the top. Cool, so we got the same error, the class not found exception. This time it's for the chat serializer, so it seems like that trick that we did before actually worked. So again, iChat base component, we need to get declared classes and index 0, because if we look inside of iChat base component, there's our chat serializer class right inside of it. Let's try this again. And we should get an error also here, so I guess we might as well fix that. So this should again be packet playout title.get declared classes 0, and again iChat base component.get declared classes, not annotation, get declared classes at index 0, and I think that's all where we need it. Why do we have an error? Oh, parentheses. Okay, let's export this and give it a try. Title. Oh, we do get an error. Okay. No such method exception. Packet playout title.init, one that takes the enum title action, the chat serializer, the int. That would be because the chat serializer, I was wrong. What does chat serializer return? It returns an iChat base component. So the constructor is actually just the iChat base component. It's not the chat serializer itself. So that was the issue there. I thought that it would return the chat serializer, but it doesn't. So that was that issue. And whoa, there it is. You can clearly see that that packet worked, and we got no errors. So that is how you use reflection with packets. It's really ugly. This is about at least twice as long and a lot uglier than this. And imagine doing it with 2 packets, it would just be even longer. But this is the work that it takes to make your plugin work on multiple versions. So as you can see, we now figured out using reflection, first of all, what version we have from this string here, so that we could get the correct net.minecraft.server class, and then we used reflection to instantiate some different classes or access different fields inside of the classes, and overall it actually works, and as you can see, we end up with titles that work. So, as always, subscribe if you want to see more, comment with what you want to learn. If you like this video, click the like button, and I'll see you guys soon with some more coding. Bye for now.